Sir, I need to see some ID right now. What are you doing on this property?
This is my house. I live here.
I still need to confirm that. Go ahead and show me some identification.
All right. I'm a special agent with the FBI. If you like, you can call it in.
The camera's already rolling. It always is. The footage begins mid-motion, slightly tilted. A chest-mounted body camera stabilizes as a uniformed patrol officer steps onto a wooden porch. The timestamp reads 19:42:11, early evening. No emergency lights, no raised voices, no reported crime. A man stands at the front door of a single-family home, keys in his right hand, phone face down on the porch railing. He is not attempting to leave. He is not hiding. He is waiting for his door to unlock. The officer speaks first. "Sir, I need to see some ID. What are you doing here?" The man turns slowly, not startled, not aggressive, confused. The camera captures his face in high definition, calm expression, eyebrows drawn slightly inward. He answers evenly, "I live here." The officer does not step back. The camera remains centered on the man's chest. Music fades. At this moment, the viewer knows something the officer does not. This man is a federal law enforcement officer, an FBI special agent, and the next 10 minutes will trigger a chain of events no one on this porch can undo. The reveal does not happen yet. It never does. That is the pattern. In these encounters, authority always announces itself last. The man on the porch does not raise his voice. He does not reach into his pockets. He does not invoke status. He simply repeats a fact. "This is my house." The officer pauses. The camera captures a subtle shift in breathing. The suspicion does not dissipate. It consolidates. Because in American policing, certainty often follows assumption, not evidence. The man's credibility is not increased by his calmness. It is challenged by it. Let us rewind. Not the footage, the day. It is a weekday. The man left his office at 6:18 p.m. He stopped at a grocery store 3 blocks from his home, purchased bread, milk, pre-cut vegetables. Receipts later entered into evidence. He drove home in a registered vehicle, parked in his assigned driveway. No erratic driving, no traffic stop. A neighbor later interviewed will say she noticed him unloading groceries. Another will say she did not notice anything at all. Which is the point? Nothing about this moment is unusual. Nothing is out of place. The man unlocks his front door multiple times per week. He has lived here for 6 years. Property records confirm this. Tax filings confirm this. Utility bills confirm this. Yet none of that is visible to the officer's camera. What is visible is a black man on a porch. That is sufficient. The officer was dispatched following a call. The call was vague. Later transcripts will show the caller reported a man who doesn't look like he belongs there. No crime alleged, no forced entry, no weapon reported, no description of threatening behavior, just presence. The officer arrives with discretion, but discretion is not neutrality. It is filtered through experience, training, and bias. The officer does not ask, "Is everything okay?" He asks, "What are you doing here?" This distinction matters legally. One is a welfare inquiry. The other is an investigative demand. The man answers again, "I live here. I'm unlocking my door." The officer shifts weight. The camera angle dips slightly. "I still need to see ID." This is the first inflection point. Legally, a demand for identification requires reasonable suspicion of a crime. There is none. The man knows this. He speaks carefully. Am I being detained or am I free to go? The question is precise, not rhetorical. The officer hesitates. That hesitation will later be analyzed frame by frame. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out why you're here. The circular logic is complete. He is here because he lives here. He must prove he lives here because he is here. This is how ordinary moments become constitutional events. Pause here. Ask yourself, at this moment, what would you do? Man keeps his hands visible. I don't consent to any searches. I haven't committed a crime. The officer's tone tightens. Sir, failure to provide ID can escalate this situation. This statement is false, but it is said with confidence. The camera records it as fact. The man exhales. This is visible. He reaches slowly into his jacket, not for compliance, for clarity. He removes a leather wallet. The motion is deliberate. The officer's hand moves closer to his belt. The wallet opens. A badge, gold, embossed. The words Federal Bureau of Investigation are visible. The man speaks. I'm a special agent with the FBI. Silence. The officer does not respond immediately. The camera records the absence of sound. This is the second inflection point. Everything that came before it is now frozen in place. Nothing said earlier can be unsaid. The mistake was not the question. It was the insistence. It was the refusal to recalibrate when facts were offered. It was the assumption that authority only flows in one direction. The officer radios in, voice lower now. Dispatch, can you confirm an FBI credential? This is institutional panic beginning to surface. The man remains still. He does not smile. He does not gloat. He waits. Within minutes, a supervisor arrives. The tone changes. Apologies begin to appear. But they are procedural, not moral. Body cameras remain active. The porch light flickers. The neighbors watch. The man's door remains locked. He has not entered his home. The officer steps back for the first time. This movement is subtle, but meaningful. The footage does not end with resolution. It ends with paperwork, internal report, statements rewritten, language softened, words like mistake avoided, words like miscommunication preferred. But the record remains. The body cam footage is obtained. A civil rights attorney files a claim. The department responds. An investigation begins, not into bias, but into procedure. This is not an isolated event. Data from the Department of Justice confirms a pattern. Black homeowners are disproportionately questioned on their own property. Identification demands are routinely made absent reasonable suspicion. Authority is rarely challenged until credibility is externally verified. Most people do not have a badge. Most people do not have institutional backing. Most people comply. And compliance does not prevent harm. The lawsuit settles. Terms are confidential. Training is updated. Policies are reviewed. No admission of wrongdoing. The officer remains employed. This outcome is typical. The system absorbs the incident. It does not transform. This story is not about a federal agent. It is about access, about who is believed, about how close ordinary life is to legal jeopardy. The man on the porch survived the encounter intact because he had proof, because he had resources, because he had institutional authority. Most do not. The question is not whether this could happen again. It already has. The question is, who will be believed next time? If this footage unsettled you, it should. If this story felt familiar, it is. Subscribe for documented cases like this. Comment with your thoughts and ask yourself, how much proof should a person need to stand on their own porch